What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Casey, and today we're making some big updates to my Ecodiesel JL Wrangler behind us. We're gonna be putting a new mounting system for the rooftop tent on today, which is why we're stopped here at Modular Racks here this morning. And later in the video, we're gonna make another stop to put a new rooftop tent once we get the new mounting system on. I'm gonna be taking off the Adventure Rack system that I've had for the last couple of years, and if you wanna go watch the review for that, I just put that up last week in that previous video. I'll put a link up here in the corner. Crew here at Modular Racks is going to get a new mounting system on. Later in the video, we're gonna get that new rooftop tent put on here. I'm super excited for that. And we're gonna swap out the AlleyCab LT50, which definitely was not the tent for me. If you go watch that review, I'll put that up in the corner. And I haven't actually showed you guys this yet, but we have a hard top on the Jeep now. No more soft top, guys. So let's go find Ryan and find out a little bit about what it is we're gonna be putting on here. So you guys remember Ryan from Modular Racks? He's the guy with the crazy Volvo. If you wanna go watch that video with like 250,000+ views on here, but
I'm also the guy who lives in the cube van, remember?
Yes.
Last time I overlanded.
And
Yeah.
just before the Rubicon, Ryan showed up with a tent to get us through because we couldn't take this too small LT50 from AlleyCab down to the Rubicon with us, and I appreciate it. That tent was awesome on the whole trip. I enjoyed using it.
But you want to try every tent.
Well, I gotta try every tent in the world. That's my goal, because for you guys, we gotta try out every tent out. So, like we want to try all the tents out, we got to try all the racks out. So we've been using the Adventure Rack system for the last 2.5 years. We've taken it through the Rocky Mountains, down to Oregon on the sand dunes, Death Valley, and the Rubicon Trail. If you want to go watch that series, we just wrapped it up. It's time to try something different. We're overhauling.
Of course.
We're overhauling the Wrangler. We're gonna give it a fresh new look. We're gonna give it some new gear. And the one thing we're gonna give it today, well, first part of this video, is a new rack. So what are we throwing on here, Ryan? What is going on? Why are we drilling holes and doing all that kind of
Well, we're not drilling holes yet, but that is what we're talking about doing here. So as you mentioned, the RS is coming off. It is a no drill application as far as the top goes. But our next most popular rack would be the Backbone, and that's by Rack, and that one does require drilling of the roof. But we're doing that because you want to get this thing as close to the roof as possible.
Now with the white top that we put on, we just put the hard top on for the first time ever. I feel like we should do something a little bit different.
Exactly, and so, you know, the Rack Backbone, the nice thing about it is that it does have that low profile, almost OEM look. Once it's installed, you can actually take everything off and not even know it's on there. You do have to drill the top, but these fiberglass tops, they are not rated for really any weight capacity. These gutters aren't rated for a lot of weight. So what we have to do, and the reason it drills is, come on over here, is we have to insert this skeleton that basically transfers all the weight from up top down to the steel tub of the vehicle, meaning you can now get a really good weight capacity on the roof. And the big thing is that Rack actually rates this for off-road use. Almost.
Well, that's perfect. That's what I need, off-road use.
Exactly. So a lot of companies will give you dynamic weight, and dynamic weight means driving on the road, slamming on the brakes, hitting speed bumps, but on the road. Off-road, as you well know, that's an entirely different. I've got my stat sheet here.
It's a little particular, which is why we have the stat sheet and the table here, because it's different depending on how you set it up, right?
So, well, yeah, exactly. On this one, we're doing the 3 crossbars. That gives you the most payload. So they're rating that at 174 pounds off-road use you can have up top there. 219 regular dynamic. And then your static, which is camping, sitting still, not moving, is up to just about 750 pounds. So you get a nice OEM look, you get that flush kind of, you know, low profile, and you get that off-road capacity.
This is what the crew here at Modular Racks is installing right now. Is we've got the frame going in, and that is going to brace and reinforce the fiberglass hardtop and transfer and tie all that weight down onto the tub of the Jeep. And as Ryan just mentioned, this does come in a few different flavors. Like you can get the 2 cross rails or the 3 cross rails, but the tent that I'm putting on is 165 pounds. So we're gonna need the 3 cross rails, which we're actually gonna install later in this video with the tent.
You know, one of the things about saying this is a drill application, and you know, that might make some people nervous. We legitimately do this all the time, and it is, once it's done, it's done. And every single antenna you have on a regular vehicle or clearance lights, they are all holes in your roof. It's so common to do it at factory. It's not a really big deal. And you actually can do this at home. We sell a lot of them and ship them out online, and people will do this. If you're confident enough to drill it, just measure twice.
Do you have any tips to help prevent leaking, or just follow the directions from top to bottom?
Yep.
And it's pretty good.
Follow the directions, make sure that things are tight. They come with foam gasket sealers that, again, I talk about like clearance lights on 1-ton trucks, you know, or rear brake lights on pickup trucks. They are all sealed with a foam gasket. That's it. And screws to tighten them down. So if you've drilled it properly, you've tightened everything to torque, and you've got that foam gasket in place, it's not gonna leak. Yeah.
And then as far as if you do put this on and you want to take your tent off, you would just leave the 6 pads that I'll show you guys.
Those stay on. Those are now a permanent fixture to your vehicle.
Here, I'm gonna miss certain things with the Venture Rack system on here. Having these grab handles right here is really handy for stepping up and climbing up to the top. I am gonna have to take the catwalk off because I'm gonna do a snorkel with a particulate filter on here. So that's one of the other big enablers about going to this hardtop and switching from the Rocklander setup from ARS to the backbone is we can now put a snorkel, because the snorkels came available earlier this year, I think it was, for the diesels. Stay tuned for that future project, guys. I'll show you how that all goes on. But we're gonna finish up here at Modular Racks and get the backbone on. And if you guys wanna have any more information, give Ryan a call. I'll put the information down in the description, or you can check out their website. There'll be some links there, obviously.
Let's start drilling some holes.
Let's drill some holes. No, I'm out of here. I gotta go. I can't watch this.
Guys, I'm trying to get my channel to 100,000 subscribers, and I can only do it with your help. If you like Jeep videos, off-road videos, parts reviews, and seeing cool stuff, I really would appreciate it if you take a second to smash that subscribe button.
All right, Ryan, looks like we're done, man. Look at that. The first next step of the Ecodiesel JL evolution. So.
Yeah, looking pretty good. I can't wait to see it when you get it to the second step.
Yeah, right. We'll get we're gonna go. We're gonna wrap up here at Modular Racks. Huge thanks, Ryan, for helping me out and
thanks for
getting us going. And Ryan's gonna have some Black Friday sales coming up and all that stuff. So keep an eye on modularracks.com. I'll have links down in the description to the rack that we're using here from Rhino Rack, if you guys want to check out the backbone for yourselves. But I gotta get going. We got more projects today to do. So
get on it, and you got a boat to catch.
I know, appreciate it. We gotta get back to the island all in one day here, so I gotta split. Yep. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
To the island to come see us, and
yes.
Can't wait to see it in the next step.
Always enjoy stopping by Modular Racks. All right, take it easy, Ryan. All right, guys, next stop for the day. We are here at Capit, and this is where you can pick up Alucab rooftop tents. This is where I bought the LT50 from. But let's go inside. I'm going to show you what we're going to be swapping to, because Alucab, and a lot of you guys mentioned this in the comments, I should check out the other version from Alucab because it's super popular. A lot of people really recommended it. So we're going to give it a try. But let's go inside here at Capit and check it out. And then we'll go, they actually already took the Jeep while I was talking into the shop. Then they're peeling off the other rooftop tent and taking the rack off and getting it mounted up to the new Rhino rack we put on. This is the LT50, and it is super lightweight. This thing weighs 100 pounds, and I wanted to give it a try and see what I thought about it. But at the end of the day, if you're over 6 feet, this is really tough to have as a tent. It's a bit shorter, but also you can see that it doesn't open up super tall. It doesn't have a really steep angle, but behind me, we've got the one that you guys all suggested I should look at, because everybody says Alucab is top tier when it comes to rooftop tents. And this is the Gen 3R behind me. So I had a look at this a few weeks ago and decided this is the way to go. We're gonna give this a shot. So take a look at the difference in the roof angles between these two tents and just how much steeper the Gen 3R goes. But it's also a little bit wider, a little bit longer, and of course, it is going to be a little bit heavier. So The LT50 weighs 110 pounds with this mattress in it. The Gen 3R weighs 167 pounds. So a little bit heavier. We're gonna have a little bit more weight on the roof, but we're taking off the Adventure Rack Rocklander system. So that's gonna shave off 160 pounds. But now we have a hardtop. We've got the Rhino Rack backbone system in there. So I think overall we're gonna be lighter than we were before with this new tent. Now once we get it on, I'll pop it open, give you guys a full walkthrough, show you all the cool features, because there are some pretty cool ones in this, where the LT50 is much more of a bare bones tent. The Gen 3R, that's the Cadillac. It's got all the features. So the awesome crew here at Capit is just getting it mounted up onto the Jeep for us. We've got a really, really low profile mounting system going on that attaches to the Rhino Rack backbone that we just put on, and it's gonna be really, really low on the top, on the roof. That's what I want, a like really small gap between the bottom of the rooftop tent and the roof itself. So we'll get the rest of that bolted on, and then I'll give you guys a little walkthrough tour, etc., and show you some of the awesome features with it. All right, so we've got the Jeep home now, guys, and we've got the tent set up. So I just came back from a weekend trip with this, which will be the next video. But it was great because I had a chance to spend a few nights in the tent. The Gen 3R is, in my opinion, an extremely well-built tent. I really like how quick and easy it is to set up. Obviously, that is the big feature with the wedge tent, but just a couple things I really noticed. These latches, they are a compression pull-down latch, so they hook on and pull down the tent. These are the easiest latches to ratchet down the tent with. You don't have to put a ton of force jamming them down with your fingers. I need to put some little string or something on these to hold the cotter pins, because they do prevent the latches from popping out while you're driving. We've got this side awning set up, which I don't know, kind of looks a bit like an afterthought as far as awnings go on the side, but it's super handy because you don't have to open this up. It rolls up really nicely on those two orange Velcro strips and tucks away, so you don't have to have this out and flapping all the time if you're not using it. And if it's raining, it provides a really nice little vestibule to climb up and in to your tent and not have your door all wet and get water inside. The other awning is removable as well. We have it mounted on. You can see the zipper right there on the side that you can take on and take this whole thing on and off if you want. And they have these really nice, these things here, these barrels that it goes into. It's not a little tiny eyelet that's drilled in the side. It's this 1-inch barrel that it slides into and holds it in place. But everything else with the fit and finish of this is absolutely excellent. I'll show you the inside in just a second. I gotta grab my light, but I really enjoyed using this. It's got pass-throughs on both sides. I haven't used this one. It's really stuck on there, but you can pull this Velcro back. I was passing my extension cord up into the tent to run my heater with. In a previous video, I talked about this ladder, how it has these long fins on each of the steps. They aren't completely level, so they do lean in if you have a bit of a rake with your Jeep, which you kind of do because you don't want to hit your Jeep with this step right here. But even with them slanted in slightly, they're really nice to step on. They feel much sturdier and they don't jab into your feet like other railings that are off on a weird angle. The other thing is this actually locks at a half step. So we've got this locked at a half of a step, so I can get the perfect amount of rake with my ladder up to my tent. And what I like to is you can't pull this off. It has a little locking mechanism here when you go to remove the ladder, and then you can slide the two pins out. And now if your kids are running up and down and they're yanking on it, it's not going to release itself. The one thing I don't like, but you know, it's not the end of the world, is that on the side window, actually all the windows, they fold in when you unzip them. However, we have a nice little double layer exterior wall here, so it's actually dual layered, but the window does fall into the tent. Now, this is kind of good and kind of bad, because What's nice is that you can actually just climb in onto this and not get any like dirt or anything on your bedding, because now you kind of have a bit of a mat. And I climb up, put my shoes on here. It's not raining because we have a vestibule, and it's not raining inside the tent, and then I can put my shoes off to the side. This tent also has the dual windows. So the window and screen are all one piece, and you just open the solid piece on the inside, which is nice. So you're never opening your screen to close your solid window and letting bugs in. If you want to open the entire window, you don't have to open the screen and the window. You just open one zipper and the whole thing falls down, which is awesome. That is what I want. I don't want to be opening 2 doors all the time to get in and out of the tent. That's like that for all 3 windows. This window, the window we're looking through right now, and the back window. I still need to wire this with 12 volt because we actually have right here, just below the mattress, a little toggle switch that we can flick on and off once we have 12 volt wire to this, that turns the overhead light on and off. You can see it right there. So we have an overhead light with a switch. We don't have to plug in some USB thing all the time. It's lit. This is pre-wired for solar and the 12 volt on the inside. So we have an Anderson plug right here that we can wire into a 12 volt source from our Jeep and power that light, as well USB ports and a 12 volt receptacle inside. I didn't show you that, I'll show you that in a second. And then we have solar pass through. It's pre-wired for solar, guys. On the top of the roof, we have another Anderson plug right, oh man, the sun's gonna blow this up. You can see it right there. So we put solar on the roof. We just plug it into the Anderson plug. It's wired all through the tent. And then we just have to route this into our Jeep, which I'm going to through these holes that we already have in the Jeep. I'm going to run some wires and get some cabling. So now the lights and USB ports will all be powered off. Well, we're going to wire that into our EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. And then the solar panels also we're going to wire into our EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. We don't have to mess around with tent wiring and drilling holes and all that stuff on the roof. But the other, what I was going to show you is my heater out of the way. So right here we've got not 110, we've got 2 12 volt receptacles and USB 2.4 amp power. And as you can see, I have this is my little AC heater that I run. There's a gap here where you could store gear. There's enough room here to store this whole heater as well. Highly underestimated how useful a table is. Now it's a little bit low. I wish it was up maybe 3 inches higher. I'm not sure if I can adjust it. I'm gonna look into it, but I don't think I can. Like, I put my phone on there. I put the heater on here at night. I'll show you a little clip here of me camping. I put my jacket and then I slide my gear bag in underneath. And now I have everything up here and it's not just all scattered next to me, which is, I really underestimated how useful having a table would be. It's not hard to put away. You can do it one-handed. You just lift it up and flip that little latch down, and there's another latch on this side here, and that's it. That's how quickly it goes away. Someone needs to come out, just like with the tailgate tables on the backs of Wranglers, someone needs to come out with a table system for every rooftop tent that can be retrofit. I can put my glasses somewhere. I'm not gonna crunch them and roll over onto them at night. Let me be clear, this table is an add-on. It doesn't come with the tent, you have to add it on, but I really like it. This other thing I'm about to show you is also an add-on. I haven't used it yet, but I can definitely see when I would use it. And that is a tilting mechanism for the bed. You can sit there and you could watch TV or eat or work. If it was a rainy, cold, crappy day and you're just hanging out in your tent, you can sit up. You don't have to be leaning pillows against the fabric wall. You can just sit up and sit there and then back down again. I believe this is a 3-inch mattress. It's not super firm. It's not like a hard panel like I've seen elsewhere, but it's sort of soft and squishy. We have it mounted as low as I think we can possibly mount it. We have the Rhino Rack backbone. We installed it modular racks. And then we have the AluCab low profile rails on some very short feet just to get it up above the roof line. And then it's basically sitting right on top of the hardtop. It's super super low profile. So there we go, guys. Huge transformation to the Wrangler, from hardtop to Rhino Rack backbone to the Alley Cab mounting system, and now the Alley Cab Gen 3R. Ooh, that's bright on top. Well, I just got back from the trip. You guys can watch in next weekend's video if you want to check that out. So make sure to subscribe, guys. I'm really trying to get the channel to 100,000 subscribers. I upload every week, and we've got an adventure coming with a little surprise in it as well. So catch next week's video out with this new tent and some of my friends wheeling. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you out and answer them. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video.